Yo, it's MGG, and I'm joined here by
Player 5.
and we're here to give you our Afro Taco impressions of Jujutsu Kaisen. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Let's get in the video. Let's start with the overview of the series. So, Jujutsu Kaisen is basically a story about this guy named Yuji Itadori. Story starts off, he's a typical shonen high schooler. The only special thing about him is that he has like super amazing physical abilities. He displays this in a bunch of different ways. But basically, like, his gym teacher challenges him to like some shot put match, and he like throws it some insane amount. So they basically already kind of try to set the stage of him being OP. He's a part of like this supernatural club in school. Basically, all this is a plot device to get us into the real story, which is one day his friends investigate this nasty curse in the school. Upon finding the curse, turns out curses are like real, and this isn't some whatever story, and the curse starts like attacking people in the school. This introduces like these curse hunters, this organization of people who go around and just hunt high level curses. Yuji ends up meeting one of these curse hunters and helping him fight the curse that's attacking his school. Upon doing that, he ends up finding out his special power, which is that he can eat curses. So he ends up eating this high level curse, which is something like no one is supposed to do. I think they said like one person every like some crazy amount of years is able to do something like this. He eats the curse, and after that, the real story kicks off. So because they found this super special person that can eat curses, instead of killing him, they choose to let Yuji stay alive and continue to eat this super rare curse, which is like the 9 Sukuna fingers. And then after he eats all of the 9 fingers, they will kill him so that they can get rid of like this super crazy curse that's threatening the world. So that's pretty much the story with as minimal spoilers as possible that we read in these 20 chapters. Let's get on to our thoughts. So let's go ahead and start with the story. So Player 5, how are you feeling about the story?
One thing I just want to point out about the story kind of goes with the overview is my man threw a shot put like 100 meters. And if you ever threw a shot put, you already know that they put this dude on superhuman levels to begin with. So me personally, I kind of don't like those characters. I like characters that get it out the mud. So it's like, damn, I already knew from the jump, like, he started out Rock Lee, but he don't seem like a stupid Rock Lee, so it's like, okay, he OP. And it's like, I don't like the way that he started with the OP-ness, but I do like how he doesn't really know the world, and through his character, we get to learn the world as we go, you know?
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. And as far as the plot goes, so like the main plot is for them to kind of collect all these pieces of this demon, this legendary demon Sukuna, and you know, I'm not a huge fan of that type of plot, but we know with shonen that can branch out into many different things. So
100%.
yeah, I'm just kind of interested to see, and it seems like their powers have a very wide range of things they can do, but there has to be a system because people kind of understand it. So it's not like Nin, it's not like random or anything like that. Yeah. I think, it's confusing. I'm wondering about that.
Yeah, I definitely think the power system's a little weird. What I will say about the plot is, I think from like what this show gives me a vibes of like, oh, I'm trying to get up there in terms of like big three. I don't think maybe it'll never make it there, but it's had big three hype around it. So like, I felt like the author I didn't say his name, but it's like Geji Takuma or something like that. I feel like he set expectations early by one, making him OP, and two, his relationship with the demon. So the way I feel like he started the story kind of set it up so I'm not as mad like I was in like Naruto and Bleach when the demon kind of comes out to help. He put like enough repercussions around it and all this stuff, like kind of like with Naruto and Bleach, it was like with their demons or inner spirits, it's like whenever they came out it basically felt like a cheap shot in a way.
There was never any negative repercussions.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the whole time people were like, hey, if you access this evil power, untold ruin will happen. But like at the end, never did that ever become an issue.
Right. So I felt like with this, they kind of put some of the repercussions in there. I still felt like he didn't really get that much for like the first couple times he's used this demon. But at the same time, you can see that they start early with building the relationship between the two versus like Naruto and Bleach, which I think this is like kind of in the same vein of storytelling. Did not. Like they waited very late in the game to start building the whole like, oh, let Naruto and the Nine Tails be a friend, so it like seems less weird that they have this relationship. So I feel like they set expectations to make sure I can't get mad about that. As far as like the powers go, I agree with you. It's super weird to understand power scaling here or like the power system, but I do like the powers. So with Yuji, like at least in these first 20 chapters, even though he has this like impressive strength that kind of allows him to take on demons, they use it like they basically can give him like an anti-curse weapon and then he can try and fight. He still needs to master like the curse magic in order to really be able to do it. But from the other characters we've seen, like the I'm forgetting their names, but like Gojo, the like teacher guy, his kind of like sidekick, probably future rival Nobara, Megumi, like these powers like come, there's no theme to them. Like the guy Nobara, he like summons these wolves. It looks like he just summons animals and shit. Gojo, you don't even see his power kind of to the end, and it still doesn't even make that much sense what it is. So to me, I like that because I kind of like variety with my stories. So I feel like no fight is going to be too boring in terms of like what I'm going to be able to see the characters do. So I wish I agree with you. I wish I knew more about like this power system, how it works. I think they'll probably explain it more as time goes on. But I do like the variedness in the powers. I like that everyone kind of has something different.
Yeah, I think Gojo's power, if I'm looking into it right, or I guess if I think I understand it, is that he has an aura around him, and when you enter that aura, you start to drastically slow down.
So similar to like Arrow Dude from My Hero.
Yeah, something like that. It's like, oh, you drastically slow down. So that kind of gives him this illusion of being like insanely fast.
Got it.
When really it's just like, nah, I think he got like a time field around him.
Yep. That was also another thing that surprised me about the story too. Not even way too many spoilers, but like Gojo himself, like I feel like it's odd to meet a character this strong this early in the series. Like they've already basically like the main villains in the series have already set expectations like that this dude is unbeatable. Like there's only two options to beat him, which is like seal him, I think was one, and I even forgot what the other one was. But they were like, no one can really run this dude's fade one-on-one, which is just like really, I don't know, shocking for me to hear in the first 20 chapters or something. So that sets the power scale kind of out of control. And then it seems like Gojo was saying like basically the next set of students coming up should be at his level or maybe stronger once they get out of school. So I'm like, this shit is crazy.
Yeah, I feel like if this is if it was going like a Hunter x Hunter type of battle scheme, then I could why they would say that about Gojo is like because one-on-one it don't really seem like you can beat this dude's power. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like his ninja's OP. So it's like if he's saying it like that, like, oh, you really have to jump this dude or just be absurdly fast, then I can understand it. But yeah, like you said, if they are setting this power scheme up that way, though, like the other way, to where it's just like, nah, he just like Kenpachi in the streets, I'm just like, then I think we're going to get to one of those. It's going to get full Bleach, full Dragon Ball Z. Because they already pretty strong.
Yeah.
And this only chapter 20. Like.
Yeah, I agree with the strength, but they also did kind of... there's a mismatch also, like, just to talk more about that power system thing, because they were talking like high grade level demons. Like, remember when they gave away that power scale, they said like high grade level demons, they weren't even like nuke level, they were like bombs or something like that.
A tank or something like that.
Yeah, it was something very like, I would have expected them to be way more powerful for what I see like Gojo end up doing later. For like the highest grade to be like, they're not even really city level. It's more like a block, I would say, level or something like in terms of strength.
You can't fit enough soldiers on a block to stop me.
Yeah. That's it. But it's nothing like super duper crazy. So
yeah, it's not quite at the point where the military couldn't handle it.
Right, exactly. So we're still not at a point yet where if this does get popping, where like we'll be able to put these characters into any real debates against like the big three so far. Probably not even. Maybe My Hero would be like something.
I feel like what's goofy is that they didn't or like, I guess he thought it was cool to kind of seed in that thing that more like there's differences between, I guess, high grade curses, like because he was like, oh, you're supposed to be a high grade, and kind of just like wiped them away, not trying to reveal too much of the plot. But I feel like that means that there's a huge variation between what these high grades can be, and it's going to get to kind of like the Dragon Ball Z kind of symptom, where you like, oh, our power scale no longer matters to our world.
Right.
And that does nothing but piss niggas off, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they try to measure his power in terms of Sukuna fingers. I forgot how much they gave him. I think it was like 3 or 4 or something like that. And I'm just like, that's a lot of fucking fingers if there's only like 9 in the world.
Well, I think there's body parts too, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gotcha. Fingers are just some parts. I think he got like, because they were saying like, oh yeah, there are bigger parts too, like arms and legs.
Oh, okay. So yeah, then when we put it that way, then we might get like, like a Sukuna chest is like, 50,000 motherfucking Sukuna fingers or some shit. So, all right, we'll see. I think that's the biggest blocker for it going forward to me, is like if they don't really straighten out the power level shit. It seems like they introduced a lot of stuff, and I think a lot of new manga run into this, where like in their first couple chapters, because they want to get like continued or whatever, they put a lot of story in there, and then once they finally get established, it like they have to do like this weird pullback, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So I feel like they introduce a lot of shit, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's it on the story for me. Any other parts you want to add on the story?
That's really it. Like, the plot's pretty straightforward. Gives a real like, trying to be shonen big 3 vibe. And I'm just worried about the power scale. I don't understand it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to characters. We kind of touched on some of them already, but I mean, we can talk about them some more. I think the main character is nobody special, so to speak. There's nothing about him that I haven't seen. I see that they're trying to like change the story up in terms of like his goal, because like basically his goal is like he just wants to provide some value, like do a good thing, which they explain like in the first couple of chapters, like why he has that goal. But other than that, like, there's nothing about Yuji that draws me to him as far as main characters go. But I'm also very main character biased. I don't know if there's any one main character that I really like in any popular shonen. So it's kind of like expected to me. I don't know. Maybe you had different thoughts on Yuji.
So far to me, Yuji seems the weakest character, not power-wise, but just as a character. I care less about figuring out about Yuji than I do the side characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like to some people that may be a good thing, but I feel like for a shonen where we know at the end of the day, unless my hero proves me wrong, right? At the end of the day, we still gonna be watching the main character most of the fucking time. It's just like, he's the most boring character, you know what I mean?
I think to me I think the only draw for Yuji to me is just his relationship with the demon. I feel like that's the story point when it comes to Yuji's character that I care about. Like, I don't care about his development, but I do care about understanding the Sukuna demon and like how curses work through like Yuji's relationship with this guy. Because now they made that deal, which I guess, I don't know if that's spoilers or not, but I won't get too much into it. But they made that deal, so we know we're gonna see him pop up more at moments, and we know they're probably gonna have more relationships like within Yuji's mind. So I'm just curious to see like where this guy's allegiances lie, and like I'm sure there's some humanization that's gonna happen to this like Sukuna guy. I'm trying to figure out where it's all coming from.
I feel like I want the opposite, and not the full opposite, because I want the same thing. The only interesting thing to me was their relationship between demon and human.
Yeah.
But you know what I would like to see, which I think could take this from just a regular run-of-the-mill shonen to like, you know, a top tier one, is if they did something where they had the demon kind of getting humanized, but then the human also getting a little more demonized. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, we know as a shonen main character, this dude's like fucking lawful good. But I would like to like slowly but surely see him side with the demon every now and again. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Make the poor choices, get a little darker.
Yeah.
I like that. But I don't think they're gonna go there.
I think I feel you. I think given the art style, I wouldn't I wouldn't say that they couldn't go that way, because I'll talk about it later. But I think the art style, they drew it in a way to like welcome the gore and the action part. Mm-hmm. So I felt like we could put. It means they might not be as afraid to lean into like that darker side, the way, you know, show, because people talk about it being similar to Tokyo Ghoul too. So a lot of that stuff is in there, where the main character kind of starts off like as a goody two shoes, but then leans more into a gray area or like a darker side. So we'll see. So other characters, we talked a lot about Gojo already. To me, of all the characters, he's the most interesting. It may be tied to him being strongest so far, but I'm very interested to know more about his progression, and when like they talk about him being the strongest, I'm curious of like where the power gap is between him and like maybe the second strongest in this organization. Like, are these niggas close, or is Gojo just like a 1 in a million type of power? Because I feel like that's the boat they're trying to sell me, is like, yo, this nigga is like a goat, and once you get him out the way, like everything else is easy.
Yeah, I feel like I hope that there is a pretty constant power level, and that Gojo is actually just OP because his ability. Like, oh, this nigga got Sharingan, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something like that. I feel like that would make me happier than just him being like this unexplained 1 in a lifetime GOAT. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
But I could see them doing that too. It's just like the only reason that trope even pisses me off is because at some point they gonna take a L. And like so far, the only person who I see writing that shit right is Mary Leona. All them other GOAT niggas take a L, and you be like, what? How? How'd that happen? Mary Leona be like, oh yeah, I just went through the rest of your team. Now I'm about to take this L to you.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the same thing there. Like, they could, when he does take that L, will this show lose interest? Because I feel like that happens a lot to me too. It's like watching some shit, you either get bored with the OP-ness, or you see it and you finally see that OP character fall, and you kind of like start losing interest because you realize like the meat isn't really in the other characters. You just look at every battle and go like, you know, if that nigga Gojo was here, like it would be over. Like this wouldn't even be a battle kind of thing. So yeah, him. Any other side characters you think were pretty interesting? I know we talked about that black guy.
Yeah, so
the suspect black guy.
The suspect, but either he's an Asian dude with dreads or he a black guy. I hope he black, because like that would just be like so funny. Like he's physically dominant, bigger than everybody else. Like I'm like, y'all know what y'all was doing.
And you talking about big asses.
He's like, you don't want those skinny bitch. I want the
like, what kind of girls do you like, nigga? I thought that was pretty interesting. I'll give them that. Like the school concept, I think was interesting. I just felt like I need more characters when it came to that. I feel like that's a very small list of niggas. So
yeah, he probably ain't want to keep up with all them people.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Like, hey, now that my hero dropped, bro, if you gonna introduce characters, you got one option: give me hella or go hard with the few you got. If you ain't gonna do that, don't even introduce their ass.
But yeah, he was interesting. The two people I think we're gonna follow most, like Megumi, I think her name is.
Yeah, I have. So
you said what?
Her power's so lame.
She has the nails.
The nails and the hammer, like okay. So if you've never seen this, which I'm guessing that's why you're here, this one, like, it seems like she's the Sakura of the group. Literally, her powers are like fucking lightsaber nails. And then like a hammer. It's so lame.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy her fight much either. Yeah. I thought it was pretty boring. The animal guy, I don't know if they're just gonna stick to those two animals. Didn't he use like another
he already bust out hella animals.
Yeah, so
I see him drop bird, wolf, snake, frog.
Yeah, so there's potential there because of variety. I think that's the only thing that could keep him interesting. But
they could also run mythical things. That'd be lit. That'd be a decent progression.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm interested to see, because now they've introduced like some mana zone concept. It's basically what I'm gonna call it, like the create your own world thing. So that's like kind of where I like now, as I look at the characters, I go like, okay, what would this nigga's mana world be? Because that demons was kind of like lame. It was just like, oh yeah, it's fire everywhere.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea.
Yeah. So I'll see how the author finesses it with that guy, but I think the sidekick guy or like future rival has a lot of potential, because he doesn't give me too many tsundere vibes. So I feel like I will actually like not hate him most of the time.
Definitely on some shit.
Yeah, that's like my biggest red flag. If a nigga just got all these, you're supposed to be the rival, you got all these tsundere vibes, like I gotta pass. So he seems like he might be someone worth paying attention to if they make his powers just a little bit more interesting for me.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Anything else on the characters, or should we move on to hype?
Yeah, move on. I don't got anything else to say about them.
All right. So for the hype, to me, I heard mumblings about this show. People were saying second coming of Bleach. I've heard Tokyo Ghoul. Reading it, I think I like the art style. I think the action is okay. It gives me a lot of like, in terms of artwork, like Gantz, Jagan, and Chainsaw Man vibes, where they like go more real with the action. They're ready to show blood. Things are kind of drawn in a way to be a little bit more gory than most shonen. But upon reading it, at least with these 20 chapters, it's not like it's not enough to go like I'm on the hype train, so to speak. That's where I will put it when I think about hype.
Okay. When I think about the hype on it, I will agree that I really like the action. They jump straight to it, and then they're not afraid to get gory with it. Like limbs get punched off, heads get punched off. Pretty sweet, and obviously the artist is probably only going to push the envelope more on that. And those were the first 20 chapters. I feel like as you get deeper, that's a good thing about manga. They get a little better art-wise as you go. Then there's a point where they just stop giving a fuck. You know, so nice little curve, depending on how long your manga lasts. But yeah, but the thing that the hype, I gotta give it reverse hype on the Bleach vibes, bro. Like I was a scarred Bleach nigga. Like I had to drop, and like this shit give me the Bleach vibes where I'm like, man, it got even kind of like a similar art to it too, man. I don't know. Whew. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
I'm gonna say the hype I get off the action gets nullified from the anti-hype I get from the Bleach vibes.
Well, we'll see. I feel you. It's hard to jump again on the Bleach boat, but I mean, I don't know how they can make this better. I just hope it just becomes its own thing. We'll figure it out. Anything else on hype?
No.
All right, so last part, what everyone's waiting for. Would you keep reading? For me, or let's start with Player 5. What do you think?
Right now is definitely at a pause till summer.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Which is like not a guarantee I'll read it. It's at a solid 60% chance it gets read. Maybe if I hear like the anime's coming out, or maybe a bunch of my friends pick it up, maybe I continue to read it.
Got it. For me, I liked what I read for those first 20. I'm definitely interested for more. I think the upcoming arc where it kind of stops at the 20 will probably be the make or break it arc for me. So I'll keep reading, but I don't think it's at a place where I'm sold enough to like sell it to people. So I wouldn't recommend it just yet until I've kept reading, but so far I like it a lot. And basically, like, if you kind of like heard our list of things and those stuff sound interesting, then I would recommend you read it. But I'm not going to end this saying like everyone should pick up Jujutsu Kaisen just yet. I think it needs some more time to marinate, or I need to read some more chapters.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that. In closing, I mean, if you like this video, make sure you give us a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want more impressions, make sure you let us know what other manga you want us to impersonate in the comment section below. I don't think that was the right word. But I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Bye.